Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dr. Quack Podcast. Another exciting episode, action-packed action here. As you can see, I've got a panel. I've got the manager of champions, of course, with me, Mr. Eric Nelson. I have Paradise Customs here, Mr. Chris Nichols. And I have our special guest today, the man who was a founding father with Stranglehold Championship Wrestling and also the owner of AWN. Mr. Mike Money.
Well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, thank you for coming.
My first time here, actually.
Yes. Yeah, definitely honored to have you.
Thank you.
I want to break into a story real quick that happened over this week. It's been pretty sad. Buff Bagwell got injured while driving. He was out here in Georgia and he ended up hitting a guardrail and got injured pretty bad. The latest reports I've heard is that he is recovering. I mean, you spent time with Buff.
Yeah, absolutely. Buff, of course, we both have worked with him extensively. Little side note, MomoCon, which was supposed to take place this past May, Buff was a featured guest. When I had to call Buff and say, hey, we got to move it to next year, he said, don't worry, just fill me in for those dates. I will make the booking. Looking forward to seeing everybody, and we hope sincerely that Buff heals enough where he can come do some in-ring work and also see all the fans there at MomoCon 2021. Buff, if you're out there, man, keep your head up, brother. Speedy recovery. I hope to hear from you soon. If you need anything, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, definitely our condolences out there to his family, his friends as well, and his fans. Yeah, so let me move on here. Mr. Mike Money, let me tell you, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Absolutely. Please.
So I want to start here because you were in the military, right?
I was, almost 24 years, actually.
Wow. So, you retired?
I retired back in 2008 from active duty, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your service,
Well, thank
sir. And this is wild here because you got a Navy,
That's
an
right.
Army, and an Air Force man here. We're missing the Marines here. Sorry, no crayons. I apologize.
That's right.
But, we'll get them out
And
there.
we don't have Space Force yet either.
We don't have Space Force. We're going to get them one here soon. So if you're in the Space Force, contact us.
That's right.
Yeah, we're interested.
Yeah. Me too.
So what did you do in the military?
Well, I was a personnelist, military personnel.
Nice.
I still do that today, actually. When I retired, I was fortunate enough to continue to work for the Department of Defense in a civilian capacity. And so about total of military and civilian life, about 35 years I've dedicated to the Department of Defense. So it's been a pretty good ride, and obviously ups and downs and the nature of what's going on in the world. It's a little bit of chaos and a little bit of craziness out there. But it's all good, all good.
Yeah. So, and you went from there and you went into the world of professional wrestling. What was your first moment, memory of professional wrestling?
Well, I'm originally born and raised in Florida, the Tampa area. So I grew up with Florida Championship Wrestling with Gordon Soley as the color commentator. I think the best in the business, ever was or ever will be. So as a child growing up, wrestling was there at Fort Homer History Armory in Tampa, where they had every Tuesday night. So as a kid, as I could get a ride and go with family, I would go. When I got my driver's license and could drive myself, on Tuesday nights I would head out to Fort Homer History Armory there to watch Mike and Eddie Graham, the Funks, Dusty Rhodes, Pac Song, all those. And as growing up, the neighborhood kids, we wrestled around and pretend and all that stuff. But
I think everybody did that.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
never imagined that I would actually become a part of that at one point, and it was a lot later years that happened, and it was when I moved to Warner Robins, Georgia. I was stationed at Eglin Air Force Base in Fort Walton Beach, still active duty. Moved up here in 2000. In about 2001, I was a member of a fraternal organization that did a lot for the community. And I was heading over to Fort Valley, Georgia. And I seen this marquee by the road that said, "Wrestling, Saturday night, Wildfire Tommy Rich." So that's pretty cool. I hadn't been to a show or anything like that in a while. And so I showed up. And it kind of started from there. I met the owners, Ricky and Linda Hardy of the promotion. Obviously, it wasn't AWN at that time, it was a different name.
I believe it was ICW at the time, wasn't it?
At ICW at one point, and it was NAWA.
Right.
Wow.
And then someone had that name, and that's how AWN was born. And as we progressed to that, that's kind of how I came in. They had me come in to kind of be that arrogant persona with money to come in and pretty much buy the company, and we changed the name. So that's how that started. But prior to that, how I actually got more involved in it was, I mentioned that I was in a fraternal organization, that we did stuff for the community and so forth. We gave scholarships to kids, high school kids and stuff. There was a little girl that had this rare disease that I think the golfer's name was Ben Casey. And obviously in PJ you don't ride a golf cart. You never see him riding a golf cart in big leagues there. But he had to go to the Supreme Court because of the rare disease he had. He couldn't walk. Well, this little girl had the same thing, and they were doing a fundraising event. And because of our fraternal organization and what we do for the community, we asked, could we partner with them to do that? And so we did. So we raised money, and at the time of the distribution of the funds and stuff to help the family coming back and forth for travel expenses to Atlanta, they did the presentation, and this wrestler came out from the back. And he thanked everyone and then thanked myself on part of the Elks Lodge. Benevolent, let me take it over, Elks, that's the fraternal organization.
Great organization.
Yep, for doing what we do for the community and being a part of this. And he asked me, and this is where it all started. I don't know if it's good or bad, but he says, do you want to be a special guest referee? I'm like, well, I don't want to, Phil, I don't want to, not say no or wuss out, per se. Something I've never done, but I said, what? I used to watch this stuff on TV. It can't be that hard, Now,
Famous words, eh?
yeah. Now, granted, I was in the military, but health and fitness was never my forte. So I did what I had to do to pass the PT test and make it 24 years. So I wasn't in the best shape, but I said, I can handle this. I can do it. So I did. Got through that. Pretty cool. I came back the next week. They were running shows every week. I'm sitting there at the show. Their ref didn't show up. So they said, Mike, can you ref for us? I'm like, I don't want to, be a poopy.
Yeah. Didn't want to let them down.
Didn't want to let them down. And so I said, okay, how hard can it be?
That peer pressure stuff, it gets
It can't be that hard. I did it last week. But not knowing the back and forth and doing what you do inside the ring as a ref, the moving, the ups and downs and this and that, and in between rounds or in between the matches, you go back and get a drink of water real quick. Then it's time to go out again, and you're the only one. So I will tell you, for the next week, I was like, holy crap. I was pooped. I didn't think it was going to be that hard, but I got through it.
The adrenaline was flowing.
So I got through it. So that kind of led up that I got more involved and more involved and more involved, and it just happened. And then the owners were very family oriented, and it was just taking a lot of their time. They like to spend family quality time camping and things of that nature. They were going to close the business down. So me and a co-worker, Kathy Park, rest her soul.
Rest her soul.
Yep, she passed, and Eric knows her very well. She died back in 2011, but she was kind of a big wrestling fan. And so she would come and watch. And when Ricky and Linda said, we're going to close the doors, we don't trust anyone else, if y'all want to take it over. We discussed it. I discussed it with Kathy, and she said, sure, we'll give it a try. So that's, I guess the rest is history. got into it. I didn't know a whole lot about it. I will say that I got a lot of schooling from a young man, Dan Masters. Very smart in the business. He had worked very young age in his early teens, I think 13, I guess. I think he started with Dusty Rhodes at Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling. So he was very instrumental in kind of schooling me and getting me up. And then I surrounded myself with other people in the business.
And you learn it throughout the time?
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like anything, like being in the military. You know, you got a squad or people that you got to move around and orchestrate things with and manage and things. So it's kind of like that, I guess. And it just evolved. And the Mike Money gimmick, it evolved. That's when we went in to change the name from the previous name to All Star Wrestling Network. Mike Money was born, and he started a faction called Money Inc. So along the way, obviously we were not the most popular people around.
People love to hate you.
Well, I've had I don't know how many words thrown at me.
Thrown the heat.
I don't know how many. I'm hoping it was Sprite or something that was thrown in my back. I'm hoping. But I got to work with the likes of some of the guys that are around today. Dangerous Danny Horn, I was part of Money Inc. The Real Deal Jake Slater,
God, I miss him.
Bobby Bonecrusher Smith, the New Breed Sean Hunter.
Oh, don't forget the Stranglehold World Champion.
Yeah, and the Phenom.
The Phenom.
So it was a good ride. Enjoyed it, and got to travel around and do some stuff. Got to work with some guys that I grew up watching, legends in the business. Lex Luger, Nikita Koloff,
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake Roberts,
Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas, Ron Simmons,
Lanny Poffo.
Lanny Poffo,
Yeah.
Johnny Grunge. So it was a fun time back then.
You know, you brought up Johnny Grunge. I think that was actually one of his last appearances before he died.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean, that's
due to
sad.
complications of sleep apnea, he passed away.
Mhm.
I worked with Viscera, Big Daddy V,
Mhm.
King Mabel.
Yeah.
Very nice man. At 43,
That was sad.
unfortunately, I got a text message one morning early. He had passed away at 43. And,
You know,
it was hard.
and this is something the three of us were all involved in. Star City WrestleFest.
That's right. That's right.
A little side note about Big Daddy V for a lot of you who don't know out there, and this is one of the reasons I definitely want to include one of the founding fathers. Actually, I got two of them right here. Big Daddy V was actually in the booking process for Star City WrestleFest in Virginia when I got the call that hey, something's happened. So I did what I could. Said, all right, well, y'all just keep the money for the expenses. I mean, that's the least I could do for the guy who gave you the shirt off his back.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree?
He was a nice guy. Yeah. Nelson Frazier.
So we,
Good man.
I see you and me, we've been up and down that road. You started me. For those of you who don't know Mike Money, his famous line to me, when I first stepped foot in Fort Valley, Georgia, was man your battle stations. And let me tell you something. You were not wrong. It has been a battle from day one until present day. And it has been the driving force behind Stranglehold Championship Wrestling. Now, of course, we began another chapter in Fort Valley. Right after we did Call to Arms, you came in and says, hey, AWN's closing its doors. Let's get this going. So thanks to your help, boss, I appreciate it, and always being there. I can't stress that enough. Like Doc here, you've been a constant in my life, personally and professionally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how the military thing works too.
Right.
It's a unspoken band of brotherhood that never goes away. Even though I'm retired, he's out.
We're brothers in arms.
Brothers in arms all the way. So I began a new chapter in Fort Valley Wrestling. I brought Stranglehold into Fort Valley on a more permanent basis. And thank you for all the times that you hosted us before with the original Bloodbath, with Sabu facing a former member of Money Inc., Extreme Phenom, 2 out of 3 Falls tables. Well, he had us going on that one, didn't he?
He did.
So that created a lot of history. I have been with Mike through most of the beginning. I think you had it a few months before I showed my face. And then you're like, well, this is what you're up against. It can be a little testy at times. Romper room wrestling, I think.
Romper room wrestling. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And I also had a nickname for Eric too. You heard of the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Well, I call him the mouth of the South number 2.
Right.
Because he can bring it.
Oh, you got it.
And AWN was fortunate to have him come on board, and he did some announcing, and whatever needed to be done, Eric was there and jumped in and actually took it, and ran with it. So,
And that leads us to how we found Dr. Quack.
Yeah.
I left in 2007 for a tour in Iraq. I had to recover from some of that, unfortunately. But after
my birthday here.
after I recovered, we began a project known as the AWN Expansion Project. There was an organization in West Virginia that was suffering. At the time, MySpace was a thing. And
MySpace. Wow, that was way back.
that was way back.
Can I get into an AOL chat room now?
Right.
Yeah, right. Well, this is how I found the immortal Dr. Quack here, folks.
You were searching the internet, Eric?
Well, he comes to me and he says, "Hey," I heard you were in need of a project." He says, "I'm in Maryland." He says, "I'm not far from West Virginia." He said, "I hear you're in need of some help." I said, "Boy, am I." I said, "Here's where we are. Come down here and meet me, and I'll brief you when you get here." So he arrives for a ring crew, anybody else. He says, "Hey, I'm Dr. Quack, nice to meet you." I said, "Oh God, thank God, come on." I walked around and said, "Here's what we're up against." Nothing against those guys, but most of them just, I inherited a mess. And I was trying to help Wildcat and Johnny Hard bring good quality wrestling back to West Virginia with West Virginia Wrestling Alliance. And they were struggling. They said, "We heard about your expansion project, we want in." So AWN Apocalypse out of West Virginia was born. And during this time, I'm working with Quack here, and he says, "Hey, we got to have some help over here in Tennessee." So we ventured from West Virginia to AWN Apocalypse to create AWN Pro Elite out of Tennessee. Johnny Vortex, Dr. Love, and Rage were a key part in that as well.
Yeah. Anybody that knows me knows that Tennessee's kind of home for me for wrestling. That was where I feel that the Dr. Quack gimmick really started. It really got its full strength.
Absolutely. So we went on just a worldwide expansion. The problem was we had some people back home that weren't helping you at all. And you know who you are out there. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten.
Oh, jeez. He never forgets.
No.
Never.
You know who you are, you know what you did wrong, and that's all right. I ain't got nothing for you.
Never will.
And never will. But again, it turned into some other things. We kept going strong, built something stronger, tear down and rebuild again, because that's what wrestling's all about. It's a circular business. What's old becomes new again at some point. There was a lot of things, a lot of different projects we did together leading up to Star City. I say Star City a lot because, for some of you who don't know, that was the final appearance of one George the Animal Steel.
Yeah, rest in peace.
That was his last ride, and I remember he got off that plane, he said, "If you were anybody else," and he hugged my neck, he said, "I'm glad to be here." And I think about that a lot. He was a Florida boy like yourself.
Yep.
And I tell you what, greatly missed guy. That was a really good show for what it was worth. It made some good memories and led to some other things.
Even got jumper cables thrown in there. Thanks, Tito.
Tito Santana.
Oh my
Well,
God.
while we're telling stories, I got one for y'all.
Here we go.
So I get a call at 3 in the morning in my hotel room that room 214 at the Howard Johnson Lodge up on the hill was being rather loud. Wildfire, I'm talking to you, brother. Miss you, love you. Come see me, okay?
God love you, man.
So it's Tito Santana, Wildfire, Tommy Rich, this guy, and his entourage.
Yeah, Angela, you got put on this one too.
Oh my God, y'all. I mean, stories from the road, you know, that's another reason why I do this is because, you know, ribs and wrestling, okay? It really works, you know what I'm saying? We ought to make a barbecue joint called Ribs and Wrestling because wrestlers love ribs, right guys? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, baby, that's for somebody else. That's not me.
But you know, I mean, that's part of it. Some of the best ribs I've ever seen came from this guy right here. I'm telling you what, he's the king of comedy and professional wrestling. You know, trust him, he's a doctor. He's quacktastic.
That's right.
Give him 2 fingers.
Jeez. Might give him the fist if he punch out. But, you know, so I wanted to ask you, I'm curious, because you've seen a lot of talent come through, you know, through AWN and everything like that. What makes a good talent? If you had to build somebody, what qualities would you say?
Well, first of all, you got to have the heart for it.
Oh God, yes.
You have to have the heart and passion. I mean, you can train anyone, but you got to look the part.
Mm.
You know, you see today they're coming in cutoffs or tennis shoes.
Straight out of Hot Topic.
Right? Yeah.
We gotta make a shirt out of that.
I mean, they need to go back and look at the old school wrestling videos. You've never seen anyone coming out like that.
No.
I mean, you got some of the big guys like Haystacks Calhoun or whatever.
Or Bam Bam.
You know, you'll see them come out in overalls or whatever, but that was unique to them.
And it fit his gimmick.
Right. So, but, I don't know, some of the ones today, the young ones coming up, it's like they're just doing it to get, you know, I would say that I would have to tell folks at my organization, look, you're not a superstar. You know, they want to feel that persona. You know, but they only come out, they only do one thing 15 minutes a week. The rest of the week they're sitting on the couch eating bonbons or whatever.
You know, I'll piggyback on that. I remember coming to lunch at your house on a Sunday after a Saturday night show. This is back, we ran every Saturday, every week, balls to the wall, 250 plus people in the crowd. AWM was the place to be. I mean, that was really the house that Mike Money built. I helped along, but that was the house Mike Money built. That's what got me into wrestling. But I would sit in his house, and he would tell me, like, did you see this, blah, 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 blah. We would have these skull sessions, as we like to call them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, the problem is, and I am looking at some of you guys, not everybody, but there are some of you out there, and Lord knows I saw enough of them last year in Austell, Georgia. There's just too many of y'all out for yourselves. You're not part of the team. You don't want to build nothing.
That's right.
And then you wonder why you're still doing the same old crap in the same old places, and you're not getting anywhere.
Right.
And you never will, because you don't have that mentality to build something bigger than yourself.
Yep.
Which is why, and you taught me this, and this is what helped found Stranglehold on principles that it has, that only the strong may survive, is we are very selective. Yes, World Elite, I gotta give you props. Even though I got an ass whooping coming for each and every one of y'all, and I'm gonna have all those belts back at the Stranglehold Army where they belong, I did hand select most of you. I did hand select most of you because you bring something to the table. You know, of course, we built the careers of Dangerous Danny Horn,
Yep.
the Extreme Phenom. And I'm telling you what, and their story keeps on going. Danny Horn, the current Warzone champion, the inaugural Warzone champion. In fact, he beat ECW original Sabu to obtain the Stranglehold Warzone title. Extreme Phenom overcame 50 other stars in the first ever 51-man Epic Rumble last year in Austell to win the #1 contendership to win the Stranglehold World title. He is, to date, the longest reigning Stranglehold World champion. You helped build that. Those were two proud members of Money Inc. And some things that were immortalized in the beginnings of my wrestling career that you helped build when you said, man, your battle stations.
Well, many years ago. That's for sure.
And while we're discussing moments in wrestling history,
Here we go.
you know, wrestlers love ribs, right? So we meet this guy who's pushing a aspiring wrestler named E-Ski.
Yep, yep.
I wonder where you're at right now, because I'd love to have you on this podcast. But he had a song called "Do the Nature Boy."
Yep, the Nature Boy, yeah.
And it was a special dance that was mimicking Ric Flair's famous strut. And he even did his own little version of Woo, and the whole song was basically a tribute to Ric Flair. He even asked John Cena, "Can he see me?" And it was a catchy gimmick. So we had a contest for all the kids in the audience to see. $100 goes to the kid who could do the best Nature Boy dance. So here comes Mike Money to interrupt the party.
Well, I mean, they just
Oh,
kept
no.
going on and going on. It was like, are you kidding me right now? It was a perfect time. You know, I think I was pissed off about something. Anyway, so I said, you know, they're filming the guy out there and he's doing his stuff. You know, it's like, hit my music. And I just happened to come through the curtain.
So I remember to this
Yeah.
day, I'm in my Duz with the microphone in hand. He says, "Let me see that microphone." He says, "Let me show you how to do the Nature Boy." And he does this cheesy version of this guy's dance. But it was so classic. I could not look at him with a straight face for 20 straight minutes, y'all. But that was one of my favorite Mike Money moments. And to this day, I wish I could find that video.
Well, I would love to see that.
And like
video,
play it for his
actually.
birthday in front of a bunch of strippers on a big tape or something. You know
We'll
what I
put
mean?
it on the podcast if we do
Oh,
find
yes,
it. Trust me.
absolutely.
It'll be all over YouTube.
Oh,
CNN
yeah.
might even get a hold of it.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, in all seriousness, this man right here is a lot of the reason why I got in the business. First time I ever saw him in character. Let me tell you something. You fat redneck inbred, why don't you go get another hot dog and you can take that to the bank? I said, I like this guy. You know, I told you before, my aspirations in wrestling was never to be a world champion, was never to be, you know, larger than life and have all these muscles and, you know, come out there with all these. But anyway, I never wanted to be a wrestler. I said, I want to be the guy in charge. I want to be the boss. You know, I want to be that corporate asshole guy. You know, that's what led to the creation of the manager champ. Said, if anything, that's where I want to be. That's the seat I want to be in, because, you know, everybody that gets in the wrestling business is not meant to carry the gold. They really aren't. But let's be honest with ourselves, gentlemen.
That's right.
I mean, we all know this. Everybody's sitting in this
Everyone
table.
has a place.
Right.
You just got to know that place.
And, you know, well, it's like the night you came to me when my wife, Brandy Scotch Baker, love you, sweetheart, made her debut. It's like, hey, we got this pretty girl coming in to make her debut tonight to create our women's division. We want you to go out and interview her. I was not prepared. We had just taken the ring down and set it back up, so I had t-shirts and jeans on. I was not prepared. But that was the moment in time that I met the love of my life. Because he handed me that stick. He said, look, you can do this. This is where I want you now. You're the voice of AWN now. I said, all right, cool. Went out there, interviewed my wife, and I could not take my eyes off of her. For the love of God, dude, I could not take my eyes off of her. I hope the interview sounded good. Nobody seemed to say otherwise. And then the other girls like trying to talk over me. I'm just like, yeah. I don't even remember who it was, to be honest with you. But I'm like, yeah, huh? And what'd you want to say again? You know, the whole time I'm like, you know, talking to her, and I'm like making eye contact the whole time. So that was one of the defining moments of this business for me. Was it truly has given me everything. You know, it gave me these guys. It gave me the love of my life. Even gave me that guy holding the camera looking at me.
And that was
Making faces at me
my
right
one and
now.
only time being a matchmaker.
Hey, it worked.
And so far, it's so good.
It worked. It worked. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
You know, Dr. Love Money over here and stuff.
I do love my. All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
All right, Paradise Customs exclusive t-shirt for the Stranglehold Army. You have here, Stranglehold Army on the front, spin it around. You have the championship title on the back. The only exclusive thing, it says Army there instead of champion. That way each and every person at home can be a part of the Army.
And for all you out there in the Stranglehold Army that want one of these shirts, that want to be part of that Stranglehold Army, the low price of just $20, you can have an exclusive Stranglehold Army t-shirt. Yeah, check out the back. That's right, custom Stranglehold t-shirt just for the Stranglehold Army. $20, you can't beat it. Heck, you can find $20 on the couch cushion. Get yours today.
And we're back. I'd just like to say thank you everyone for tuning in here. This is Mike Money, by the way. I wanted to see, now we're getting ready to do something great here. We're getting ready to do word association.
Feel free to jump in, by the way, Paradise.
Oh yeah, by all means,
Yeah,
yes.
please, this is my first time playing this game.
And me.
Yeah, so if you want to give your opinions on the names that come out here, give your thoughts. By all
Oh yeah,
means.
we're gonna enjoy this one.
So the first one here, and this is a pretty good one here, this would be Eric Nelson.
Oh Jesus.
I'm going to throw you a softball here, then it's going to get hard.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Loyal. Great friend. And a big mouth.
You got that one.
Inspiration, honest, and talks more than I do. Phenomenal. Thank you, man.
You can count on that. There you go. The next one here, Dangerous Danny Horn.
Oh, wow. A crybaby.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. Really good guy. He just needs to get it together.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
He just needs to get it together.
I can't speak on that.
Okay.
Well, I'll say this. When it comes to Danny Horn, be it the needs to get together. When it comes to his in-ring ability, his in-ring work as a performer, he's your guy. He's a coming man. He will do what it takes to get the crowd's money's worth. He likes the hardcore. He likes the edgy.
Yeah.
He fits his name, Dangerous Danny Horn. If it's dangerous, he's the first one in line. It's like, yeah, I'll do it. 1,000 thumbtacks, yeah. Walk across barbed wire and then, whatever. If you come up with something crazy and over the top, he's the first one to say, put me in. Book me for that match. He said, I don't care who it's with. Give me Sabu. Give me Trevor Murdoch. Give me anybody you got. Give me Lanny Poffo. He said, I'll show him the dangerous one. And when I said, I'm creating the Warzone division. As I mentioned, as we've talked a lot about this, and you and I definitely covered that as well as when we first formed this company. Is we want something over the top, but at the same time we stick to our old school values. Because if you look at the front of our title, has an inverted SCW, one eye on our roots and one eye looking to the future, right? So with the Warzone division, that's the most over the top, most high adrenaline guys that you're going to find anywhere. So anybody that takes that title off of Danny Horn, they got big shoes to fill. Because he took Sabu apart in 6 minutes. 6 minutes, he defeated an ECW original who was just as crazy as he was. To earn that title, to say I'm the first and I'm going to be the longest reigning because nobody's going to beat me for it. So far, nobody has beaten Dangerous Danny Horn for that
Well,
title.
he was the longest reigning Heritage Champion.
Oh yes, and he wore it well. He wore it well. When we had the AWN Heritage title way back when, it's been almost 20 years now.
Right.
He held that belt for almost 2 years because there was nobody that could legitimately go toe-to-toe with him for that title. He brought it. Anything you put him in, go back there, mess up his hair, get him good and pissed off, and push him through the curtain, and he will bring his game.
As a man who worked him, I'm telling you, and me and him, we met up in New Jersey. We were actually working for a Fed up there. And we were training students, and honestly, outside, probably the other person I've worked in this business, Big Papa, back in Tennessee, he has probably the best worker's punch I've ever had.
Oh God, yes.
It feels good. It looks good. It's what you want. You want that realism out there. You don't want somebody to kill you, which I've had many of those guys.
That's what I was looking for.
But he has got the realism on that punch. So let me move on to the next one here. CJ Awesome.
Oh, that brings us to a good story, Doc. Mike Money centered the ring with AWN Heavyweight Champion CJ Awesome. It was supposed to have been, what was it, the Executioner from the WWF days was supposed to show up.
Yes, yes.
But myself, the manager of champions, debuted Dr. Quack and AWN Adrenaline down in Fort Valley, Georgia. We still never did find your Cadillac, did we?
Right.
We were looking for it, I
We were
promise.
looking for it.
Right.
Well, we excellently executed the Executioner and put him in there mafia style. Still never found the boss's Cadillac. Again, I can neither confirm nor deny what happened to that Cadillac and that scrub, the Executioner. So he's got this guy, CJ Austin, as a world champion. And we got CJ good and upset. CJ, still love you, brother. We've had some good times together. So Mike Money's like, oh, my illustrious vice president, because at the time my title was not only manager of champions, but the AWN vice president. And I'm debuting Dr. Quack that night. And of course, we did the first cross-promotional show of our expansion with AWN Pro Elite, AWN Apocalypse, and AWN Adrenaline under one roof for one night only. And of course, Quack's first time there got more pop than the World Heavyweight Champion. CJ, how can you cut off your own?
And I was supposed to be the heel here.
Love you, brother. And I'm going to fast forward to another really quick CJ.
Hold on, before you do that, I want to hear his thoughts on
Oh yeah,
CJ
yeah, let's
Austin.
do that. Talk about CJ real quick. Then I'm going to tell this story because he was there too.
Okay.
Well, he does what he's told to do.
Yeah, you're right.
He has a bigger belly than me
He does now, yeah.
now.
He was in shape when I worked
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And one of the greatest young talents of that
Yeah,
time.
he listened. He did what he was told, and even though he wasn't the most muscular specimen, he did look the part.
Oh, absolutely.
He wore
And
the boots, he wore the
That's
trunks.
why we put the title on him.
You know, so he looked the part, and he did have heart. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, so
And
CJ's
this is more of a this is definitely a more positive jab at CJ. As you know, my father passed away in August 2012. You volunteered to say, hey, let's run an AWN charter show in memory of your father and tribute, and thank you again. Tony Atlas and Demolition Axe came in, they helped me out immensely. But what was most important is, yes, CJ Austin and Stunt Marshall were the AWN Tag Team Champions and probably one of the longest reigning in the history of the company. They were not initially booked for the show. We had another tag team that decided they were too good to help me out, and that's fine. No problem. No problems at all. CJ and Stunt stepped in with the Washington Bullets, who were the hottest thing in the Georgia independent scene at the time. They were the hottest tag team, and they're still good guys. Trey and John Williams, if you're out there, still love you guys, man. We got to get together soon. But CJ Austin, Stunt Marshall, they stepped in and said, look, we know you didn't book us, but you know, we want to make this special for you. So they came out, they cut a promo on me. And CJ's also always been a talker like me. You know, you'd appreciate the guy. Trust me.
absolutely.
Well, they were wearing these glasses. One of them said, fuck off, and the other one said, bitch on both ends. Anyway, they laid their gear and blah, 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 blah. So, you know, I'm sitting there listening to them. I got my manager champion suit on, you know, got the microphone. I'm listening to them talk at me, you know, doing the usual promo. So I picked off the fuck off glasses and put them on and just smiled at them. And CJ was like, he almost broke character for a second. You know, of course, I did this to the crowd, got everybody pumped up, and I said, you know, this may not be necessarily an AWN sanctioned show, even though it is, but it's not really an AWN sanctioned title match, as I'm not acting in official capacity now. But if you want your ass whooped tonight, boys, I call the Bullets out there. I got me a referee, and I'm telling you what, of every show we put on in that building, Micah Taylor, Murder One, the late Wild Child Joey Kidman. I miss you, bro. I hope you're watching, you know, from heaven.
He was a great talent.
Yes, he was. Jake Slater, God, where are you, man? Seriously, where are you? Jake Slater and Tony Atlas. Oh my God, what a match. Demolition Axe took on the Extreme Phenom. Couldn't have asked for better. That was one of the best put together shows in my career. And all you guys participated. From the bottom of my heart, still love y'all. Whatever you need, come see me. You know, don't feel like I forgot. But that was a good CJ Austin story. That was a good promo he put together. We had some good, back and forth, and then they went out there. Yes, Washington Bullets. Yes, y'all went over the match in pure form, but y'all had a very good match. CJ and Stunt, you know, versus the Bullets was still one of my classic CJ Austin moments.
So now I'm getting ready to go on the other side of the world here. You ready for this? Nature Boy Paul Lee. Eric's best friend, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of his favorites, I know.
I'm gonna let you go.
Well, I mean, his character is funny. I mean, you know, he calls himself, he is the real Nature Boy. I don't know.
Let me make
What?
it clear.
Yeah, let me make it, yeah, that's pretty good. Do that again.
clear.
How's he do that woo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how it come about or what. I don't know it's a complete story, but it's funny. You know, I don't know how people take it, if they really take it seriously or not, but
no.
but we all do know that Eric Nelson over here, it is his best friend.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. So here we go. We got a couple here. We got let's go one more. The Extreme Phenom.
Oh wow, Extreme Phenom. Well, he is extreme. When he gets in his mode, when the music hits and he comes through the curtain, it's on. It's like going to a heavy metal rock concert, I think.
Oh God, yes.
As it's been said, balls to the walls. In fact, the Phenom was at my house the other day.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, he lived don't live far from me.
Yeah, he's in the executive.
Yeah, he's
board
in
over
the
there.
he's in the executive neighborhood. But yeah, he stopped by the other day. He's doing good. The family's doing well, and in fact, driving here today, I passed him. It's turning in out where I live on his motorcycle.
Yeah, that's Phenom.
Yeah, I'm driving his motorcycle with his hair flowing, you know, whatever. He's got that long hair, but yeah, he's doing good. Excellent worker.
All right.
You know, and I'll touch on the famous Mike Money Phenom match. The Reflection of Perfection, Mark Jindrak had just been given his release and decided he was going to challenge the Moxie, the Extreme Phenom, and under the tutelage of the great Mike Money at Fort Valley State University, right? The brawl in it all. And of course, he fell victim to, he was yet another victim to the Extreme Phenom. I'm sorry, man, but Mark Jindrak, you might have been a showy playboy and all, but nobody issues out a South Georgia ass whooping like the Extreme Phenom. I'm gonna tell you, I've known that man 30 years, in and out of that ring. He's as intense everything he does. That's one of the most intense, most extreme people you ever meet, and you wouldn't want to be on the other side of a ring or in a dark alley. You know, in his path.
You definitely don't want to meet him on the street somewhere.
Yeah.
I want to throw it out there, man. I met the guy a week ago on this podcast. Extremely respectful and one of the most humble people I've ever met in my life.
Absolutely, he'll give you the shirt off his back.
He's pretty quiet spoken too.
Absolutely.
I mean, quiet spoken, but when he hits the ring now, it's on.
Oh, yes, sir.
Different. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh, yeah.
Comes out. Definitely.
Yeah, when the bell goes ding, it's on.
That's right.
So I got three more for you here.
Uh-oh.
Vince McMahon.
Oh, Vince McMahon. Huh. I like him.
You like him?
The money likes him. Mike Money likes him.
Mike Money likes Vince
You
McMahon.
know, he's a little arrogant. He has lots of money. Oh, I like his walk.
How do you rate him as a promoter?
Well, I think, oh wow, promoter. I don't know that. What's being put out there today, I don't know, is
The equivalent.
the equivalent to what I am accustomed to, that I like.
Mm-hmm.
Too much, I think, entertainment,
Not enough wrestling.
not enough wrestling, too many, I don't know, gimmick things. Okay, who's marrying who? What wedding are we going to have this week?
Yeah.
Who's doing who?
Somebody's
You know,
pregnant.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, more sizzle
We'll
than
get to that.
steak, you know?
And,
That's what it seems like.
So I mean, I don't know. I think he needs to bring it down and come back to his roots.
Absolutely.
When his dad, Vincent Mann Sr., was doing his thing, and they just need to come back, you know, and get off those kind of those type of comic relief to me.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know he's made some changes in-house that I read about. Unfortunately, I don't watch a lot of that on TV anymore because it's just not interesting.
Do you watch All Elite Wrestling at all?
When it first started, I did. I watched a few.
What was your thoughts on it?
Well, I think because of who they have backing them,
Tony Khan.
the Khan family, they have the money and the know-how to. If anyone's going to give Vince McMahon a run for his money, and under his promotion, I think it could be AEW.
Owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's correct. And
Yeah, they're
so
very,
that-
they're very business.
so that's why I say. I mean, you got two billionaires. You know,
Playing a game of chess, basically.
right. So which one's going to move? Make the move.
Right.
So let me break in here, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you feel like at this moment they're direct competition for WWE, or do you still feel like they have a ways to go before they're actually acknowledged as competition? I know right now
Well-
they're running Wednesday against NXT, and
Right.
it seems they're doing the same type of show as NXT when it comes with the performance.
And their ratings are slightly better than NXT, believe it or not.
But do you feel like they can actually compete? If they said, hey, I'm going to Monday night to go one-on-one with Raw, do you feel like they could do it?
Well, I think they got a lot of good talent that has come over from the WWE and knows that style and knows how they've been doing things. And I think some of that talent that worked under that label was probably tired of the same stuff.
Absolutely.
So they're going to bring
Yeah.
their knowledge of what was going on to this new company. And I think from there they're going to work and make it better and grow from there.
Agreed.
So that's why I say that I think that's the only company right now out there that would even have a chance to overtake and replace what we know today as WWE
Right.
with a new genre, a new concept, and just a new way of wrestling.
Yeah, here's my takeaways from it. One of the things I hope for AEW is they don't make a lot of mistakes WCW did. With that, doing too much too fast. When you get too stagnant, you get too stale, you get complacent. AEW definitely has 100% potential to rise to the top. Hands down, I don't care what anybody says about that. But it's like, let's not throw everything out there, because what are you going to follow it with? You have to be able to follow it. One thing I will say about Vince McMahon, since we initially started talking about, the guy, what I liked most about Vince McMahon and what he needs to go back to, and I totally agree with you guys on this one, is he needs to go back to creating larger-than-life characters in wrestling, because that's what we're missing. And that's honestly the formula I have tried to recreate, is the larger-than-life characters. It's trying to bring some of those upcoming guys in this business. I'm going to throw one out there, Ray Fury. If you guys haven't seen him, look at him.
He's talented.
We have seen him, and he faced off with our very own international champion, Joseph Von Schmidt, another larger-than-life character. That's what made wrestling what wrestling was. And to me, if you're good at it, stick with it.
Yep.
If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as we say in the South. You know what I mean? Can AEW be that people? Yes, don't do too much too fast. Look for larger-than-life characters. Not just somebody that left one company because they were disgusted with how things were going, but find some people that you can make your own. Watching wrestling since 1977, all the way through when Vince McMahon first appeared on Georgia Championship Wrestling, which anybody knows me knows I was part of the Georgia Championship Wrestling revival in 2011. We incorporated the idea of bringing back the nostalgic people, Abdullah the Butcher, Tony Atlas, Tommy Rich, and others. But we also started bringing in new people to build. At the time, Jake Slater was the hottest heel in Georgia. Micah Taylor, still phenomenal talent. Actually, he has a school in cooperation with Luke Gallows. You guys are looking for a place to go train, get with Micah Taylor, Luke Gallows. That's where you need to go, because you're not going to get a better training regimen than under those guys. But at the time, larger-than-life characters bringing back the territory feel, because that's what made wrestling wrestling. That's when stars were being built. That's the other thing. There's not enough places to work anymore. There's not a measuring stick. Do I believe that AEW can use WWE as a measuring stick and vice versa? Yes. But there also needs to be some more in there. There needs to be that measuring stick. It's what are we going to do to follow what we just did? Because that's what has worked and stood the test of time through this business, is what can we do to improve upon what we just did? Am I right or wrong?
You are right. I'd like to thank Mike Money for coming in here today. You want to stick around here? We got one more segment here to do. Stick around, folks. We're getting ready to break down the news.
Hey, look who I've run into, folks. The head of the Dr. Quack Podcast, Dr. Quack himself. Welcome to Flashback Games.
I'm telling you, thank you for introducing me to this place. This
Absolutely.
is definitely top of the line here. If you get a chance, you're down here in Marietta, Georgia, check out all the great games they got here, and the staff is super friendly. Love this place. Give it 2 fingers up, actually, right there.
Hey, let's show them your favorite games here in the arcade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
There's so many great games here. I mean, you got Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I'm telling you, I was playing this last week. Definitely one of my favorites here. I mean, definitely, you get the gun here. You're just firing away. You're going at it. You know, I mean, there's so many awesome games here. I mean, look, you have X-Men here. Definitely one of the great ones. So many Ultra Beasts. I mean, even here, look at this. Let me show you. And I'm almost like 5 feet. Look, we stand next to Galaga, and oh my God, I'm telling you, I feel like a kid again.
Like I said, you can't beat it, folks. The low price of just $11. Come and play all the games you want. What do you say, Doc? Is that a deal or what?
That is a deal. All right, and welcome back here. We have the late breaking news that has happened over the last week, some newer than others, but there's a lot of stories going on in the world of professional wrestling. The first one I want to get to is Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose is now not going to be a hair versus hair match. It is going to be a loser leaves the WWE, which is very weird but it also fits real life because she has a stalker, Sonya Deville. You know, do you feel this is a work? Do you feel this is a shoot? She had, testified in court today, actually, yesterday rather.
I have been getting word, nothing official, but word, that the stalker in question was actually a recent signee from the Ohio area, and that is in fact a storyline. I don't have anything official to cooperate with that, but that is some word I have been getting. Now, if this is in fact a work, it's a very good work, because it's got everybody convinced that this is really happening. And that's something we are all very familiar with, is kayfabe. And a lot of people have asked me in the past, is kayfabe dead? Not necessarily, you just have to work much harder to get it. And if this is one of those cases, they're doing a good job. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I'm going to chime in here. You have Mandy Rose, the entire face of the women's division right now. She's a certified today's Sable. She is a sexual figure for the WWE.
And she can work better than Sable.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She's better on the mic than Sable.
Yeah.
If Brock Lesnar's watching this and he ever sees it, I'm not talking smack, I guarantee it. I'm simply throwing it out there that there's no way. Everybody knows Vince, blonde hair, big boobs. That's what he wants in his women division. There's no way they could have pulled this match off, in my eyes, and had her get her head shaved. So you automatically know that Sonya's going to lose the match because Mandy it wouldn't fit.
She's too pretty.
Exactly.
Blonde hair, big boobs, I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
What I thought.
Get on here, we're going to put you on camera. That's the way I've always seen it. So that's my opinion. I think they had to change the match because there's no way anybody could ever see. One, could Mandy actually beat Sonya? Not really. But they'd have to put her over, or they lose the face. I'm sorry.
You got anything to add?
I don't. As I said earlier.
Is this new to you?
News. I've heard the name, but as far as what's going on, I really don't.
Okay. Yeah, no problem there. So Becky Lynch is allegedly now, she's writing a book out here while on maternity leave called Toast to Me, a study in 7 volumes. I have no idea what it's about. It came on her Instagram page that she actually posted this. So, I mean, how do you feel about wrestlers going and branching off into other genres and other lines of work? Like going into movies, going into writing books and stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't personally see a problem with it because you only have a certain amount of time or tenure in professional wrestling. So you've got to set yourself up for the future. Unless you're making lots of money and you're investing that money, and then at the end of your tenure, you've saved enough, I don't have to work again. But how many of us do that?
Rob Gronkowski is the only one.
Oh, and that reminds me, while we're talking about that, that's a very good point. Do you want to talk about our project?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to thank you for agreeing to be part of our new movie, our upcoming film, Dr. Quack.
It's really
It's
nice
coming
title.
out here 2021.
Yeah. So we actually have the legendary Mike Money, who has agreed to portray a character in our movie, who has come on board. So instead of posting this just as a Facebook picture, I wanted to have him come and give his little wave and nod that he's that he's with us. You're a little nervous?
Well, I mean, obviously it's something new
Right.
to venture into and see, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, it's always been an
I'm
adventure.
open, I'm just saying I'm open.
It's always been an adventure, right?
Yes, it has. It's been a roller coaster ride.
But anyway, yeah, definitely thank you for coming on for that. Filming will happen most likely by the end of this year. We'll begin the preliminary filming of our scenes. Our casting call will be right here, September the 12th. So we'll probably do a podcast that day too.
Very possibly.
And you have a legend in house that day as well, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. And definitely, speaking of adventures, I got to move on to the next subject here. Thunderdome seating. Have you heard about this? Where now they have got their arena and they now have it looking like guess who around the arena with people with videos sitting in virtual seats to watch wrestling. Talking about SmackDown like last night, which congratulations Jeff Hardy, by the way. I just wanted to say that Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, congrats, brother. Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and now going to be at SummerSlam. I just read this. It took 16 minutes for Raw to be sold out. Has any of you seen this? The pictures of
All
it?
right, so I saw pictures last night. I'm much like Mike. I don't watch the current product. Occasionally, if I hear something good happens, I go back. I have it recorded.
Hulu, my favorite.
But overall, I got to see a couple images. I got to see people. I'm a part of a lot of groups on Facebook that's wrestling involved. Wrestling belt groups, wrestling talk. And I got to tell you, I saw a lot of people plugging themselves. But the price tag was outrageous, and the fact they sold out, it's good for them, man. It's 100% good for them because they actually get more money to go back into the business. They're not losing out. But
That's a good one.
is it entertaining to look at? It's kind of creepy to look at, man. And
Creepy as in the Fiend, or just creepy as in you're cringing?
as in watching people in the background on a webcam. They actually sued people or threatened to sue people if they did anything inappropriate.
Or if they wanted an AEW shirt to a
Right.
WWE show. Oh my
Okay,
God.
So these people are at their house watching this.
Yes.
Like a pay-per-view.
Yes. And I'm telling you, go look at it. It looks like guess who, man.
It's
Wow.
Does your guy have blue hair? Psh.
Yeah, and they just pop up all over the screen. They got
Oh.
$750,000 to rent the arena, right? To do the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
So
you know what's ridiculous to me about this whole thing? And we were talking about words associated for Paul Lee earlier. You know what's ridiculous? Is Paul Lee has these fathead stickers of fans on wallboards all around his little arena there in Ringgold, Georgia. I think the WWE stole a page out of Paul Lee's book for this Thunderdome thing. I really do. I mean, what next is Paul Lee going to be one of the guess who cares? Say, look, we look at clean. He looks like the kind of guy that would pay out the ass for something
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness.
I mean, cool, make your money, WWE. Again, I'm spitballing here on this one, but make your money, but seriously.
The following does not represent the Dr. Quack podcast or its viewers or its own. But anyways,
Right, moving on.
now moving on. So returning superstars talking about coming back to SummerSlam, by the way. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar potentially, and Edge. Does that make you excited to watch wrestling right now? Any of those guys?
They're good talent.
Yeah.
They draw. People love them.
Yeah.
Some they love to hate. But as far as me pulling you back in, probably not.
Right,
Probably
so
not.
it's a very difficult thing. I mean, I'm a huge Lesnar fan. I'm loving him because he reminds me so much of Hogan in the 80s, where you didn't need him to come out and wrestle every week as
Right.
champion. When he came out, you knew it was a big deal.
He needs to come out more if they're going to really market him.
Right, he does. But he's not champion right now, so it's okay for him to take his
But
break.
still.
He needs to not go down to Goldberg after 30 seconds. That's what he needs.
Oh yeah, you know, Jesus.
I mean, you know.
Sorry,
and-
Goldberg. We're getting
And, you know,
underhand.
and being from the South, being a WCW guy as well, I was very high on Goldberg. It's like, let the man go home with some dignity, for Pete's sake. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm excited to see Roman Reigns come back. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
huge Roman fan. He does a lot for the kids. Cancer survivor, man. It gives people inspiration. So I, for one, am very excited to see him come back.
Yeah, yeah. I think out of those three, I would say I'd be looking forward to seeing Edge again. Radar Superstar has always been a plus for me. Liked him in the early days when they were with Gangrel and the Brood. Liked him when they became Edge and Christian, became tag team champions. Loved that whole run. Edge, he's in my top 10.
Now note, this was being filmed on Saturday. This will be coming out on Tuesday, so this will be after SummerSlam. Let's see if some of these projections actually come out here.
Absolutely.
Kind of curious myself. Let everybody know, All Elite Wrestling, they're selling tickets here for their 27th show in August, so they will be having fans, they're saying. That is a big step towards COVID-19 and you know, what we're going to do to move forward in the wrestling
Absolutely,
business.
and that needs to happen.
Yep, Rey Mysterio signs a 3-year contract, and they are saying it's because it took Dominic, you know, to get his big push. That was the reason why Mysterio, you know, signed his contract. They're saying that Dominic now, because he's fighting Seth Rollins in a no-holds-barred match at SummerSlam, one of the bigger matches, you know, that was the reason for him signing. Were you a huge Rey Mysterio fan?
When I was watching it, yes, he has some great moves. I mean, small guy, but he knew how to work,
Oh yeah.
and he knew what to do because of his size when he was facing those big opponents. So, yeah, definitely, I think it's going to be an asset
Yeah,
to the
absolutely.
company. Definitely an asset to the company. I think I think people are going to tune in just to see him make his return.
Absolutely. I mean, I followed Rey Mysterio since he was Cruiserweight Champion in WCW. Phenomenal guy, phenomenal talent. He's definitely a positive asset to any wrestling organization. You want to chime in?
I wanted. Did you guys watch the Eye versus Eye match?
Yes, I did. I actually sat down and watched this and was mind-blowing.
Was you in awe? Like
A little bit, yeah, because it looked good. Like, him selling that eye going into the stairs really looked good.
Oh yeah.
All right, so they actually did a cut scene. I think it was on WWE.com or something like that, After Hours, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we've repaired the eye. It only took a couple minutes, and they repaired the eye. It's back in there. He's good to go.
Well, Vince has got the best doctors you can buy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's got to with all that money.
I
Yeah,
just feel
exactly.
like they sold it a little bit too soon. They should have did a different gimmick match, something different.
Yeah.
But as far as Rey Mysterio, I'm like you. I followed in WCW. One of my top 3 favorite matches ever was him versus Eddie Guerrero
Yes.
at Halloween Havoc. It was the mask versus the title match.
Mhm.
Forever etched in my mind. I loved him in WCW. I feel like they've pushed him too far when he came back to WWE again. I hope when he comes back this time, they'll kind of slow him down a little bit,
Mhm.
let him go more to his roots instead of trying to be the guy.
Right.
And the final big piece of news here. Allegedly now, Shane McMahon is going to take over Raw. As you've seen, he's already on Raw Underground taking all that. Bruce Pritchard allegedly doesn't want to work a lot of the hours, which I can't blame him. It's a lot of hours in production. So he is solely going to take on SmackDown. Shane is going to take on Raw. Who do you think will have the better show?
Well, I'm just gonna pick Shane O'Mac.
Yeah.
I just like his character. He's grew up in this business. I mean, he was surrounded with a lot of talent, a lot of
Absolutely.
knowledge. So I think if his dad's going to give him full reign and full control, which
That's a big
Yeah.
if.
Yes, that's a very big.
yeah, I was going to say
Vince,
Probability.
let him do it.
Right.
Come on, man.
you know Vince needs to just trust his children.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, they've grown up in this business, and every time Shane comes out and is a part of the show, It's always entertaining, always electrifying. He does some amazing shit,
Absolutely.
you know, death-defying,
Absolutely.
He's the best in the world.
you know, so I think
Love that.
definitely let him, give him the reins and let him go with it and see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm with Mike Money on this one, folks. I believe Shane McMahon's going to take it to new heights. Raw Underground is definitely a great concept. I'm interested to see how much further he takes it and the direction he's going to travel. What do you think?
I feel like you guys are making me the heel because I'm going to go the exact opposite way. I feel like they have ratings to deliver for Fox, and I feel like Bruce Pritchard has got to deliver or they're not going to keep the contract with Fox. So I feel like he needs to focus 100% on SmackDown to deliver. So.
And see, my problem is Bruce Pritchard is known as a big ass kisser to Vince
Oh,
McMahon.
yes.
He's known for it. That's just the way it is, you know. But I mean, in the same respect, he's going to pull out some stuff. He has great ideas. If you've listened to his podcast, you know, he does a lot of, you know, he's got a lot of ingenuity there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm curious here, if you had anything to say to anybody entering the business, what advice would you give them?
Wow, put me on the spot there.
I did.
Dr. Quack.
I'm good at that.
Again, don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
Definitely don't quit your day job. Again, it goes back, you gotta have heart, you gotta have dedication, you gotta have compassion, you need to look the part, you need to train. Just don't come out and do your 15-minute spot once a week at a show. This is a continuous process, a continuous work ethic. So, to all you people out there, it's just like we say this, anybody can run a wrestling show, just find a ring. But is it going to be a shit show?
Yeah.
And we need to bring, you know, I've always had a saying that professional wrestling is a dying breed. I've said that for many years. The tradition of professional wrestling has been thrown out the window. We need to bring back, and you know, they say history repeats itself. We need to bring that back.
Agreed.
And we need to have people in the business that want to be in the business. Not just to be, oh, I just want to get my name out there and look good for 15 minutes.
And
It's
use
not-
that as a stepping stone.
It's not,
quality over quantity.
right, it's not
I mean,
going
that's where
to
it
make you. So,
But it will break you.
that's right. It will cost you a lot of money. Don't think you're going to get rich quick. You're probably going to be paying money to wrestle
Yeah.
in the beginning. But it's paying your dues. Everyone has heard that, pay your dues. If this is a passion of yours, you really want to go further, you got to start somewhere. And indie promotion is where you start. And promote yourself. I said it all the time in the back. I would go back to the back and I see some good talent. I said, okay, you got any gimmick? You got any pictures? You got whatever? No. You got to promote yourself.
I want to touch on that. As far as the younger talent out there today, the guy with the best promotional tactics in the world
I know who you're going to talk about.
is Ray Fury.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
Yes.
Ray Fury, love you, man.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Ray Fury is, do your homework. The guy's got you beat in space. His presentation, his
Yep.
work ability, his professionalism, and most importantly, the way he presents his product, his gimmick stands. I've got, who remembers the wrestling buddies from back in the 80s?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a gigantic Rey Mysterio buddy like this tall. Right? This tall. Okay? He's got them this big, and he's got them like, well, literally like BET size. He's got t-shirts, he's got masks, he's got everything marketable that markets his products. And not to mention, he'll do anything he's asked, he'll travel,
Yep.
and he'll give you the best price hands down. And he's worth every penny. For those of you who have slept on Ray Fury, my condolences.
Speaking of promoting, so I believe you have something you would like to promote here.
Sure, absolutely. Let me go back to people getting into the business for a moment.
Go ahead.
One thing that I grew up wanting to be a wrestler. Again, I told you guys, my dad absolutely hated it. When you talk about getting into the business, don't ever feel like you're not replaceable. Because they will make sure to replace you when your ego is bigger than you are. They will replace you in a snap of a finger.
Yes.
That's one
We have
thing.
both done that.
That's one thing I've learned about watching the business. So I personally didn't want to promote this, but Eric asked me to. I run a Facebook page called the Wrestling Boiler Room. I host an organization there. It's called the Voice of Honor. Me in particular, I grew up wanting to be in the business. I didn't have the look for it. I didn't have the talent for it. I didn't have the money for it. But I always wanted to be a champion. So I was like, well, what the hell could I do? And then I heard of this thing called e-wrestling. It's where people cut promos on each other. And it's actually a really big business right now. The Voice of Honor has 6 championship belts, 100% custom. For people to never get into a wrestling ring, all you have to do is own the part of being a promo artist. And you can win yourself a championship belt. Now we do things a little bit different. You know, you get to hold the title, you get to, win the title, but if you lose the title, it's your responsibility to mail it to the next person who beat you. It gives opportunity to people who's never had the ability to step in the ring. I know there's several people with disabilities out there. Like me, when I actually had the ability to want to train, I had a day job that wouldn't allow it. If I got hurt, I knew I couldn't provide for my family. It's one of those things you have to, do you have what it takes to be a wrestler? And you have to check the yeses and the nos, in my opinion. And mine always ended up tallying up no before it became to the yeses. So, anyways, Wrestling Boiler Room on Facebook. Give it a like. Watch the promos. We have the legendary Iceberg there, NWA. Hall of Famer, one of the nicest guys on the planet. He actually competes with us. Awesome friend of mine. Lots of ability. We do a podcast on there. Eric actually came in Thursday night. I was doing the pop, the people of promos. And guess what, Eric? You can't spell the people without the pop.
That's right.
Anyways, Eric came on. He actually presented me with some awesome gifts, lots of signatures, pictures. And he wanted me to stick it out there for you guys. So Wrestling Boiler Room on Facebook, give it a like, join the group, watch, entertain, or be a part of it.
Make sure you check those out. I'm telling you, that's some really great stuff. I mean, I didn't know there was actually e-wrestling out here. That's definitely interesting. I've never heard of that. That's something I'm going to have to check out. Cut some promos.
Absolutely, man. And you're local, so I can get you the belts a lot cheaper than mailing them.
Yeah!
That's right.
Yeah, things that
And
came
the
up.
other thing I want to plug, besides the t-shirt, I go nowhere else for belts other than Paradise Customs.
Yeah, he makes awesome belts.
And
So many.
we're gonna
I got to finish up here because I got one more thing I want to talk about, and that is my movie of the week. I have actually seen a lot of great horror movies, but this one here, this was 1998. This one here was the story about aliens pretty much taking over a high school. This is also known as The Faculty. It's something I recommend that you check out here. Elijah Wood starring in it. Really a classic sci-fi horror movie. I mean, it has everything you're looking for as far as the story. I thought it was really good. I want to thank everybody here for coming on the show.
just a quick special announcement. We will be airing the match from Call to Arms that took place between 2 members of the Extreme Horsemen, ECW Original, C.W. Anderson, and Mid-Atlantic Sensation Damian Wayne. We will be airing this match tomorrow at 6 p.m. Sunday.
And in case you all don't know, and some of you have been following on Facebook, C.W. Anderson is actually going to be a part of the Dr. Quack movie as well.
Yes.
So make sure you stay tuned for further information on that on Facebook. I'd like to thank everybody for coming on. Thank you, Mike Money. Definitely loving the stories. God, we got to have you back on for some more.
Well, thanks. It was an honor to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. This will be coming out on Tuesday. Look for a podcast here possibly the next week or two. We got to play this by ear. We've got a little bit of stuff going on, and I'm out.